welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And yes, I know I'm talking about Molly Burke again, but it's been a good long time, and there has been an article written in Today, the magazine Today, about a month back, where Molly is interviewed about why she does what she does. And there are some things in that article that really just hammer home the points that I've been trying to make for many years now. I am going to try to curb the anger in my voice because I have a feeling that is why a lot of people are telling me I'm hate-filled.
You ugly, hate-filled man.
But I'm still going to try to convey my frustration with this. So the title of this article, and I will link the full article in the description because I'm going to try not to read the entire thing sentence by sentence. There are some points that I want to just touch on here. I don't want to make this a half an hour long video. So the title is Meet Molly Burke, the social media star busting myths about blindness. Now, I know she doesn't have control over the title, especially because this is not an op-ed, but you'll understand why it's not helpful and why she doesn't really do anything to dispel that title. So this the headline or the secondary title says, I wanted to be the role model that I didn't have when I needed it. Now, there are some reasons why she didn't have those role models, mainly the fact that I feel and saw growing up, and others saw growing up, that she was very sheltered and not really exposed to very many blind social stuff and ILS stuff. So, unfortunately, there were role models for her to have, but she didn't have them. So it says when Molly Burke lost her vision at 14, teens bullied her. She had been speaking publicly at events since she was 5, but the taunting and harassment stopped her from wanting to continue. Now, Molly has said over the years countless times that she was bullied relentlessly as soon as she lost her sight. And I'm not going to say whether or not that's true because I don't know. I didn't go to the school, like her school. And I will say that some sighted people can be, especially kids, can be jerks and assholes. But the way that she makes this seem, and it's been like this for years. This isn't just this article. In other videos she's done that I've covered, she makes it seem like she went blind and there was like this light switch where everyone just hated her because she was blind. And knowing the time period of when she went to school, I have a hard time believing that's what happened. More likely, Molly had either had crappy friends who didn't know how to stick around during hard times, or she was grieving the loss of her sight and got angry and pushed people away, which happens when you're angry. And this statement here, right here, kind of proves what I'm thinking. I didn't want to put myself out there for more ridicule or judgment. I was so angry at the world. I wanted to hide, Burke, 28, of Los Angeles, told Today. And that's really what I feel like maybe was the thing, is that she was angry, which is normal when you're grieving the loss of something. And other 14-year-olds, being 14, didn't quite know how to handle that. And that's just that's my opinion on that. We're going to skip down a little bit, and she says here, I thought back to the 14-year-old who was really the reason I'm doing all of this, and I wanted to be the role model that I didn't have when I needed it, she said. Where did 14-year-old Molly turn to when she didn't have anyone and she needed someone? I turned to YouTube. That's the problem. And this is the problem. This is where your parents fell short, Molly. Because in all of my years dealing with the CNIB and other blind Canadians, nobody says that they've run into you at the Lake Joseph Center. That's the summer camp that is run by the CNIB. That would have been an incredible place for you to go, especially when you're new to sight loss. That would have been an amazing place for you to go. I know somebody that went to school with you at W. Ross, and you didn't stay in the dorm. You lived in Oakville at the time, which is, it's not super close to Brantford. It's not super far to Brantford, but it's definitely a drive. It's like 90 minutes. And I know for a fact that the bus that provides transportation to the Kitchener-Waterloo Cambridge blind students would not have driven you home. But the person that I know who went to school with you knew that you got picked up and dropped off every day. If you had stayed in residence, you would have learned ILS. You would have learned better, social cues, and you would have learned that there are other blind people with retinitis pigmentosa. It's not as rare as you think. You would have learned that when you're in a room with more than one blind person, that you need to let them talk too. Like, all of these things you would have learned had your parents just not sheltered you. And that's not your fault. That's their fault. It's your fault that you're not self-aware enough to understand that, and it's your fault that you keep perpetuating this myth that you're independent and that you teach independence on your YouTube channel, and that you're using your YouTube channel to dispel myths about blindness, because you're not. You're dispelling myths about what you do as a blind person. You say that you don't speak for the blind community when people in the blind community call you out. But as we see further down in this article, when you're speaking to sighted people, you have a completely different story. Burke watched beauty and fashion videos as a teen when she felt alone. Quote, and those girls felt like my friends. Which is why, like she says, they really helped me rebuild my confidence. And so I thought, if I really want to be that role model that I didn't have when I needed it, I need to meet people where they are, and they're online. That's where I started my YouTube channel. Hey, but people aren't just online, Molly. This is the problem. This is why I think you are the way you are. Because you got depressed when you lost your sight, which is absolutely natural. But instead of pushing you to not shelter and hide and wallow within yourself to where all you did was watch beauty videos on YouTube, your parents didn't say, no, you're going to summer camp this summer. You need to learn what it's like to be around other blind people. You need to see that blindness looks different from every blind person you meet. You need to go and do things and go water skiing with blind people, go kayaking with blind people, go meet other blind people, go make friends in person, not just online via comment sections. No, you can't come home from W. Ross every day. You can come home on the weekends. You need to stay in residence and learn ILS and all. Had your parents done that, I don't think I'd be making this video. And I don't think that my videos that my other videos would have been made. I really, really don't. So this says social media offers her and other disabled people a platform. Yes, it does. But it's also important for you, Molly, and other disabled people to understand that the offline world still exists. It offers her and other disabled people a platform when they are often underfeatured in other media. We're a minority. We're not supposed to be everywhere in media. So Molly feels that every show on TV should have a disabled character in it. This article also mentions the video that went around Twitter where Kamala Harris was describing herself and everybody was laughing. This article suggests that it was sighted people that were giving backlash to the video. And yeah, there were some sighted people laughing, but there were a lot of blind people going, this is a huge waste of time. Why does this have to do with Molly, you might ask? Well, Molly put out a TikTok, I believe about a year ago. I wish I could find it. And I wish TikTok would react properly with my computer because I'd show it to you, where she says that she wishes that people would take the time on Zoom meetings to describe themselves. No, huge waste of time. And again, one of the things that is good for Molly, not good for a vast majority of other blind people. While Burke dispels myths about blindness and disability on social media, that doesn't mean she's immune still from trolls or misconceptions that people may still have. And the article started by saying Molly is a woman who likes fashion and tattoos, therefore people don't think she's blind. She says the media has so often portrayed blind people to be wearing dark glasses and not being necessarily fashionable and trendy, and oftentimes older, she said. I'm a young woman who loves makeup and fashion, she said. I love high heels and tattoos and fashion, and that's not what we see blindness portrayed as. And people will say, well, you're not blind. No, Molly, that's not why people say that you're not blind. They say that you're not blind because you can clearly tell that you are, like, even though you've lost the majority of your sight and now you're losing your light perception, because you've had the ability to see, you know, to look at people and stuff like that. That's the same thing that I get. I get told that I don't look blind and that I'm not blind, and I've got prosthetic eyes. It has nothing to do with being fashionable. Okay? Stop it. You see, you say that you want to dispel myths about blindness, and yet you can't even be honest about why people say that you aren't blind. Being honest about why people say that you aren't blind doesn't make you not blind. Okay? It just explains the truth about why people say it. All right? Why can't you see that? Why can't you be honest and say, people say that I'm not blind because I have had the benefit of knowing what it looks like to look at people. I've had the benefit of learning visual cues. I know how to use them. Now, here's the big thing that proves my point about Molly right here, and why I say that she speaks out of both sides of her mouth. She wants people engaging in her social media to learn something about blind people to lessen the discrimination and the myths she and others face. I quote, I hope that it'll decrease how much I deal with it and how much other people deal with it, Burke said. Quote, I really believe I was born to do this. I was given this life. I was given this life circumstance. I was given a specific set of skill and talent that I have been able to manifest them and do something with it. A lot of my disabled friends, blind or other disabilities, don't want to talk about it, she continues, adding that they just want to live their life, cook, play with their children, enjoy their hobbies without having to explain what their lives are like to other people. So, on one hand, when blind people say, Molly, please stop speaking for the blind community, you don't speak for us, we get called haters because we're telling her the truth. And then when she goes and speaks to sighted people, she thinks that she was born with these circumstances specifically so that she can do this and take the fall for other disabled people, because not everybody wants to deal with this, so they don't have to. Really, that's where you're gonna go. Like, this is why I'm saying she speaks out of both sides of her mouth. And I really hope that that my staying calm and trying to point this out is making a difference here. Here's one last point that I'd like to show to you. It takes people like me and other disabled creators doing what we do to allow disabled people who don't want to do this to have that life. Burke added, they deserve that privacy. If she really felt like she shouldn't be the only one who speaks for the disabled community and the blindness community specifically, she wouldn't have used the term other blind creators as a throwaway when she said, you know, it's people like myself and other content creators. She would have taken the 10 seconds to name at least some of the creators that she collaborated with. Lucy Edwards, Tommy Edison, somebody. Name somebody. People are going to say, you know, oh, you're mad because she didn't say blind press. No, I don't care. Don't use other blind creators as a throwaway line to make it seem like you're not just talking about yourself when you really are. You feel like you are the spokesman of our community, Molly. That article proves it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, I will link the full article below, and I will see you guys on the next one.